Homes and businesses were looted and put to flame. In a matter of hours, the vibrant town of Oradour had been reduced to ashes.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 largest abandoned cities on Earth.
Everyone on the island was given 3 months to leave. The sounds of children and their laughter disappeared.
For this list, we'll be looking at ghost towns, villages, cities, and/or other similar places where humans have settled from around the world that have had their populations vanish. Would you visit any of these eerily vacant places? Which one? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Varosha, Cyprus. If you had visited this beach town in the early 1970s, you may have had a celebrity sighting. This northern region of Cyprus was once one of the most happening tourist spots in the world.
Luxury hotels were built everywhere in this thriving, growing city that many dreamt of visiting in their lifetime.
For a time, the town had been increasing infrastructure to support its growing popularity, building and planning new buildings for visitors. Unfortunately, this growth was cut short in 1974. That's when Turkey invaded Cyprus, causing the inhabitants of Varosha to flee. Since its Turkish occupation, the once bustling tourist destination has become desolate.
An abandoned ghost town, frozen in time.
The Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus has begun to reopen parts of Varosha, a decision that is extremely contentious, with the UN stating that settling the suburb with people other than its inhabitants is inadmissible.
It just goes to show that at the end of the day, the real casualties of war are always the civilians. You look around and you wonder, was this really worth it?
Number 9. Pyramiden Svalbard, Norway. In the Norwegian Arctic lies what was once a coal mining city.
In the Soviet period of time, this was a very prestigious place to work. Pyramiden supplied the northern regions of the Soviet Union with coal.
It was sold by Sweden to the Soviet Union in 1927, and at the time, the population mostly consisted of miners from Russia. At the city's peak, there were approximately 1,000 residents of the area and plenty of cultural and social hubs, such as a movie theater, a library, a community greenhouse, and more.
And they consider the years they spent in Pyramiden to be the best years of their lives.
But after the fall of the USSR in 1991, Pyramiden slowly disappeared. It became officially barren in 1998 after the final inhabitant left on October 10th of that year.
The decision was made to close down the mine and to send all the people back to the mainland.
Number 8. Centralia, Pennsylvania. This once residential mining town now has the smallest population in the entire state of Pennsylvania. Only 5 people remained in 2020. In 1962, a coal seam fire began to burn underneath the city, spreading through tunnels and beneath its streets.
That coal mine, which had powered Centralia with jobs and opportunity for a century, ultimately turned into the furnace that fueled its demise.
The effects of the smoke ranged from serious health complications to warped buildings and sinkholes.
When coal seams burn underground, they undermine the integrity of the surface. Frighteningly, this can result in sinkholes opening up, revealing the burning coal below.
After it was clear that this problem was not going to resolve itself, the government paid to relocate the residents of the city to safety. The fire still rages on to this day, and the area has stayed empty.
A highway that used to run through Centralia was rerouted, and the original road is now a canvas for vandals. Graffiti Highway, as it's called.
Number 7. Pripyat, Ukraine. The most infamous nuclear power incident in history, the Chernobyl disaster, led to the abandonment of this neighboring city.
Built to house 50,000 workers from Chernobyl and once the pride of the Soviet Union.
Residents of Pripyat were primarily employees of the power plant, and the city had a population of around 49,000 in its heyday. But when the reactor exploded in 1986, the families living in its vicinity had to evacuate the toxic area.
It was not until 2 days after the accident that they were eventually evacuated.
While no humans have attempted to re-inhabit the city, wildlife has begun to spread in the wake of the incident. Plants and animals returned and flourished, despite the high radiation levels of the area.
It's tempting. It actually smells nice. But everything that grows here is forbidden fruit. Poisonous for 1,000 years.
Number 6. Bodie, California. If we've learned anything from this list so far, it's that former mining towns don't seem to have a spectacular shelf life, and this old city is no exception. In 1859, discovery of gold in the region created interest in the area, and prospectors started coming. About 16 years later, Bodie was officially a boomtown.
From 1887 to 1882, Bodie was in its prime as a bustling gold town.
But not long after, the companies that funded the town's mining endeavors went bankrupt. This and a series of fires prompted people to leave, and Bodie was a ghost town by the mid-1940s.
Only about 10% of the original town remains, and it only remains because of the dry climate here in the Bodie Hills. There's very little wood rot or decay in this area.
Today, this Wild West city is a United States National Historic Landmark and a state park.
These days, the park rangers work to educate people on the archaeological importance of the artifacts in Bodie. This town is a piece of California history.
Number 5. Hashima Island, Japan. Off the coastline of Nagasaki lies this formerly inhabited area.
It was once the most densely populated place on the planet. Now, it's a ghost island.
Also known as Battleship Island due to the shape of the land from above, this city was a center for undersea coal mining.
In 1810, coal was discovered on the once deserted reef. Mines were built. People came. The money flowed.
Concrete housing units were constructed to accommodate the population of workers, but these were eventually abandoned after Japan had a reduced need for coal energy. The workers left the area, and Hashima Island was no longer the populous region it once was.
And look at it now.
Yes, and now it's falling into ruin.
However, you may recognize the site from the 2012 Bond film Skyfall, as exteriors were shot on the island. Number 4. Oradour-sur-Glane, France. This French village has a painful history. The small farm town was needlessly decimated with explosives during World War II in 1944 by Nazi Party SS troops.
Homes and businesses were looted and put to flame. In a matter of hours, the vibrant town of Oradour had been reduced to ashes.
In total, 642 innocent people were mercilessly killed in the attack, and what remained of the destroyed city stays in ruins to the present day.
Only 5 boys managed to escape out of all of the men in the town, wounded, crawling through a hole in the wall, and hiding in the cemetery.
Although a new village was built in another location, this site serves as a memorial for those who lost their lives and as a heartbreaking reminder of the atrocities that took place during the war.
Shortly after the war, General Charles de Gaulle declared Oradour should never be rebuilt. Instead, it should remain a stark memorial to Nazi cruelty.
Each year in Oradour, a ceremony is held to commemorate the horrific tragedy. Number 3. Craco, Italy. This Italian village dates all the way back to medieval times, but sadly it didn't manage to make it out of the 20th century. While its convenient location atop a cliff provided the city some protection from attacking forces and a pretty nice view, the residents of Craco weren't immune to diseases and natural disasters. These factors, along with a slew of power struggles weakening control over the area, eventually led to the demise of the city. Now the area has been a well-visited tourist location and has even served as the backdrop of some popular films. Number 2. Kolmanskop, Namibia. Located in southern Africa, this city was founded in 1908, and its claim to fame was its abundance of diamonds.
The town grew quickly, fueled by the enormous wealth hidden beneath the sands.
German settlers began to move into the region to mine for its extremely valuable resource, and the area quickly became a busy town. This colonization was unwelcomed by the native Namibian people, but they were ultimately outnumbered by the invasive miners. Eventually, these new residents depleted Kolmanskop of its diamonds and headed off elsewhere to new prospects.
But as the diamonds disappeared and production relocated, the town was left completely abandoned, to be slowly consumed by the ever-shifting desert.
The once lived-in buildings are now immersed in sand and can be visited by outsiders. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into Settings and switch on your notifications. Number 1. Kayakoi, Turkey. Dating back many centuries and known by several names during that time, this city has had a tumultuous political history. Prior to the end of World War I and the fall of the Ottoman Empire, Kayakoy's population numbered between 6,500 and 20,000 people. As a predominantly Greek village residing within the borders of Turkey, the citizens were forced to leave their homes as a safety measure following Greece's loss in the Greco-Turkish War. 350 of these once populated dwellings are now completely vacant and remain under Turkish jurisdiction. While they are still intact, they have been weathered and damaged by time. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.